AI Tay for refusing to recover at home after surgery. I, 20 and a half, am really let down by my husband, 30 manners, and absolutely infuriated by his mother, aged F. Apologies for the length, just a throwaway for sake of privacy. For some background, my husband hails from the West Coast, where his mother still resides. He relocated to the East Coast for college, and that's where we crossed paths, post-graduation. Early in our relationship, she would drop by 3 to 4 times a year and make him use PTO to entertain her throughout her stays. After 2 years of this, while we were still dating, I questioned how we could ever take a vacation together if his PTO was being consumed by his mother's visits. We settled on saving PTO for a trip to Europe we embarked on in 2023, and he agreed to inform his mother that he couldn't take time off every time she visited. In my previous job, my schedule allowed me to work from home 4 days weekly. And every time she visited, she pouted all day like a puppy whose toys were taken. However, once my husband returned home, she would instantly perk up and become clingy again. Now here's the predicament. My husband and I relocated approximately 6 months ago, closer to my family. I've got a new medical provider who recommended a surgery that my former doctor had continually delayed. It's not a complex procedure, and it will vastly enhance my quality of life for many years. My mother-in-law decided it was time for her to visit and expressed her desire to explore our new town while volunteering to assist around the home during OP's recovery. I'm slated to go through surgery and will be in pain, and I really don't want to handle her presence. Nonetheless, we consented, with my husband asserting this isn't merely a sightseeing visit. She's here to help. Cook, tidy up, do laundry, etc., so I can rest and recuperate. She can come for a proper visit later this year. My husband dropped me off at the hospital on Wednesday. The plan was surgery followed by 1 overnight stay for observation. On Thursday, the doctor informed me my test results weren't where he wanted them, so I needed to remain an additional night for observation and new lab tests the following morning. I contacted my husband to inform him I'd hopefully be home the next day early afternoon. He didn't visit on Thursday at all. Upon my discharge on Friday, I called my husband to let him know I'd be ready in about an hour. It went directly to voicemail, and I assumed he was in a meeting, so I tried again later. After several attempts to reach him over an hour's time, I reached my sister, who had the fortune of being excused from work for the afternoon. Immense gratitude to her kind boss. She drove an hour and a half to fetch me, and when we got home, the place was a disaster. Laundry piled on the dining table, the litter box hadn't been cleaned since Wednesday morning, and the sink was filled with days of dirty dishes, etc. I completely broke down in tears. She packed me a bag and brought me to her apartment to recover for 2 weeks. Later on Friday evening, my husband called to ask where I was and expressed surprise that I was discharged. He had been hiking with his mother and didn't have any cell service, which meant he missed my calls, and he took PTO for her visit again. Naturally, I can't forbid him from taking PTO, but wouldn't you prefer to spend that time with your wife at the hospital instead of on an outing with your mom? I told him I no longer feel comfortable recovering in our home and wouldn't return until it's properly cleaned and his mother is gone. He's calling me the AH because his mother merely wanted to become familiar with our new area and thought I wasn't able to leave the hospital regardless, characterizing my reaction as an overreaction. I shouted back that he essentially abandoned me at the hospital and opted to entertain someone whose presence was to assist with recovery, not amplify my stress, and that she was there for support, not for a vacation. Maybe it's just the pain and medications. But am I in the wrong here? Am I making a big fuss over nothing? A part of me is contemplating consulting a divorce attorney to explore my options because I'm uncertain if this will ever change. I realize this may sound incredibly selfish, but I desire children. Yet I can't envision having any with my husband in the foreseeable future. If this isn't going to work out, I wish to avoid wasting the next 5 years on therapy costs and missing the opportunity to find someone I could start a family with, someone who can be a dedicated father and husband before being a son. Thank you to anyone who took the time to read this. Edit. I appreciate everyone. I took a break for a while and returned to a lot of encouragement. I think it's time to face the reality of my situation, unfortunately.